everyone, welcome to Beyond Studio Pilates. My name is Hannah and today I'm going to take you through a mat work favourites class. So these are moves picked by my lovely clients and I hope you really enjoy them. If you want to get involved in helping make classes and tell me what you really enjoy, just leave me some comments and then I can create classes using some of your favourite moves. If you feel like there's something you really want to learn how to do, just let me know and I can try and put it in for you. So let's get going. Bringing your feet together, we're going to go heels out, toes come out to meet them, and then we're going to go in a little circle. So I just want you to move your weight from the back to the side and the front of your foot, so just taking that weight on a little circle. So almost like you're massaging the bottom of your feet. And then taking that in the other direction. And we just slowly make that circle smaller until you come to a standstill. And then think about keeping that weight even, so between your heel, your big toe and your little toe, for that nice tripod of support to keep your weight even. Knees stay soft, coming up to your pelvis, isolating the movement through that pelvis. So we're just tipping it back and forward. Imagine you're tipping water out of a bucket. And then slowly bringing that back to a standstill where that tailbone is pointing down to the ground. Restack those vertebrae, growing towards the ceiling. Thinking about our pelvic floor next. So internal sling of muscles, holding everything in, going to think about it a little bit like a lift. So we're getting in that lift on floor 1 and we're riding it up to floor 10, holding it there. And then gently, with control, letting it off. And again, up to floor 10, holding it there. And then slowly, with control, letting it off. 2 more times, up to floor 10, holding it there. And then slowly, with control, letting it off. Final time, up to floor 10. And then this time, with control, slowly letting it back down until we get to that floor 2 or 3, and that's our 20 to 30% we want to hold for the rest of the session. Thinking about that TVA next, so transverse abdominis, big belt-like muscle. Going to imagine we've got on a really wide belt, and we're going to draw that belt up to the 10th hole. So your waist gets smaller, belly button moves towards your spine, and your ribs draw down towards your hips, holding it there. And then slowly, with control, letting it off. And again, up to that 10th notch, holding it there. And then slowly, with control, letting it off. Final time, up to that 10th notch, waist gets smaller, belly button moves towards your spine, holding it there. And then this time, with control, slowly letting it back down until we get to that notch 2 or 3. And that's our 20 to 30% we're going to hold for the rest of the session. Moving on to breathing. So we want to breathe thoracically, so into the side and the back of your rib cage, thinking about filling your lungs up from the bottom. And then when you exhale, think about trying to get all of that air out again. As you exhale, remember pelvic floor and diaphragm move back up together. So we're inhaling up and exhaling down. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Two more like this. Inhale up and exhale down. And final time, inhale up and exhale down. Super. Okay, from here, taking your right ear to your right shoulder and then just gently creating a semicircle round to the left and then back to the right. So it's a really gentle move Don't feel like you're forcing the movement at all. I want it to be nice and controlled. Keeping it nice and steady. Okay, final time here. So this time you're going to take your head over to the right hand side. Bring your right hand up and just gently place it on your head. So you're not pulling on your neck, you're just using your hand as a weight, holding it there. And bringing your head back up. Taking your left ear to your left shoulder, bringing your left hand up, gently placing it on your head, holding it there. And bringing your head back up, taking your chin to 2 o'clock, nodding your head forward again, just gently placing your hand on your head. And bringing your head back up, taking your chin to 10 o'clock, nodding your head forward again, placing your hand on your head. And then bringing your head back up, taking 3 rolls of those shoulders. And then 3 rolls in the other direction. And then 3 elbow rolls. And then 3 elbow rolls in the other direction. Then from here, you're going to bring your arms out to the side, and we're starting with a forward circle the size of the bottom of a mug. So just a little circle. Then we're making our circle a bit bigger, so now it's the size of a cereal bowl. Now a bit bigger, it's the size of a dinner plate. Now a bit bigger, it's the size of a barrel. And now the biggest circle you can create. Then taking it in the other direction, biggest circle you can create. Then the size of a barrel. Then the size of a plate. Then the size of a cereal bowl. And then the size of a mug. And then bring those arms down, give those shoulders a little wiggle. Then from here we're going to use the band if you've got one, but don't worry if you haven't, to just work into that rotator cuff. So if you have a band, you can use the band. If not, I'll show you how to do it without the band anyway. Going to bring some band up, you need some band in the middle. If you haven't got a band, you're going to imagine you've got a sponge in each hand. You could also do this with some cans. You're going to squeeze onto those sponges, and then we're taking our wrists out to the side. Gently releasing back to the middle, so letting the resistance, like holding the resistance if you're using the band, and then releasing those sponges. So squeeze and out to the middle, release, squeeze and out to the middle, release. We're going to do 5 more like this. Keep standing tall, core engaged. Final 3. Really resisting that band on the way in if you're using the band. If you don't have a band, just slowly bring your hands in. Imagine there is a band there that wants to pin you back to the middle, and you're just resisting it from doing that. One more here. And then give those shoulders a roll in each direction, placing your band back somewhere where it's out of the way. And we're going to move on to side flexion and extension next. So you're staying with your feet underneath you, core engaged. We're going to reach to one side and then stretch that arm up and over. Squeeze those obliques, come back to the top. So just a gentle reach down and then sweep that arm up and over. So imagine you're stuck between two panes of glass. That arm has to come up and over your head. It can't come in front of your face. Make sure your knees are staying soft. Check in with your weight. Where is your weight? Make sure it's even between your heel and your toes and you're not being a bit heel or toe heavy. Really stretching down, up and over. Try and make that arm longer as you go. So can you reach a bit lower as you reach down? Going to do one more to each side like this. And final time. And back to the center. Next, you're going to bring your arms up. So your elbow and shoulder are in line. Arms are going to come out to the side. Going to imagine you've got a big spring between your hands. Going to push that spring back together and then gently let it release. So we're working into those chest muscles. So we're pushing that spring back together and then gently letting it release. Push back together and then gently letting it release. Push together, gently release. 3 more here. Push and then release. Push and release. Final time. Push and release. Bringing those arms down by your side. From here we're going to go on to a lunge with a little extra. So lunges are really good for your legs. Also going to work our core. So we're going to do a lunge into a flamingo. So you're standing tall. You need some room in front of you to move into. Core switched on. You're going to take a big step forward with your right foot. Coming into a lunge position. You can decide how low you want to go, so you work to where you feel comfortable. Then from here, core switched on, eye line staying up. You're going to push into that front leg and bring your left leg off the floor. You can keep your arms near your side or you can bring them out to the sides if you need some help with balance. Then from here, you're going to bring your arms forward, take your leg back, come back into your lunge position. Core switched on, head to the sky, and then you're going to come back into your flamingo. Hold, and then slowly step back into your lunge. Core switched on, step forward into your flamingo. Make sure you're thinking rib to hip connection, and then we're going to slowly step back again. Hold, and then back up. Keep thinking belly button to spine, keep that core engaged. Don't worry if you have a little wobble, that's totally natural. Just try and land sensibly. Make sure you're doing it slowly so that you can land properly and not go off balance. We're going to do 3 more here. Final 2. Final 1. So this time we're staying in our lunge position. You're going to gently take your back heel to the floor so you get a nice calf stretch. holding it there for me. Then pushing with that front leg, bring yourself back to standing. And we're going to go in the other direction. So core switched on, standing tall, big step forward with that left leg. Again, make sure that you feel you're in a comfy position. The lower you go, the harder you're going to make it. So take it to where you feel comfy. Core on, inhale, exhale, coming up into that flamingo hold. Then exhale, stepping back, inhale, exhale, holding there, gently stepping back. Remember, the lower you go, the harder you're going to work. Keep thinking belly button to spine. Keep your eye line raised so you're keeping your chin lifted. We have 3 more to go. Doing really well. Building lots of strength in those legs. Final 2. I think we might have added in an extra one. Final 1. Okay, from here, bring that back heel down into the floor, pushing into that calf, feeling that calf stretch, holding it there. Then pushing with that front leg, bring yourself back to standing. Now if you have a band, you can bring the band in for this exercise. If you don't have a band, don't worry, you can do this without the band. So we're going to do a little shuttle run or a crab squat. Both names work perfectly. So you're going to bring your feet and your knees together, and then you're going to loosely tie the band if you are using the band. If you're not using a band, you don't have to worry about this bit. Tie it in a bow. And make sure it's about a hand's width away from your knee, so it's not interfering with that knee joint at all. You need to be struggling to make a bow. There we go. Okay, so you've tied your band. It needs to be tight enough so it doesn't fall down, but make sure it's not really tight because you'll find this almost impossible. Then from here, you're going to bring yourself so your feet are just wider than hip distance apart. You need some room to your right, or if you're on the left, you need some room if you're on the right, sorry, you need some room to the left. So you need to be able to walk across just a couple of steps. Core switched on, you're going to bring yourself down into a squat position. You can do anything you want with your hands, just make sure if you put them on your legs, you don't bring your shoulders up near your ears. From here, you're going to bring both feet together, and then you're going to push out into the band. Both feet together, push out into the band. Both feet together, push back. So you might soon find that your band isn't quite tight enough, or you might find that it's a bit too tight, so you can adjust that as you go. And we're just doing a little squat walk, so crab walk or little shuttle squat. Try and keep your pelvis low, try not to kind of come up and walk across. That will still do something, but we want to really work into those glutes a bit harder, so try and keep yourself low. Going to do 3 more. Now you can make your steps as big or as little as you like, depending on, I guess, how much room you've got. I'm having to make mine smaller back one way for some reason. They're not quite fitting in. Okay, final 2. You're doing really well. Keep that pelvis low. Just feel those legs working hard by now. That core switched on. Final time across to each side of the room. Okay, one more to the middle, then back to standing. Undo your band if you were using a band. I'm going to do a lovely standing quad stretch just to stretch out through those quads. So I suggest you use a wall or similar solid object to hold on to so you don't have to worry about balance. Core on, pick up your left foot, knees in line, and then take that knee backwards gently. Then bring that leg down, swapping to the other side, right foot up, knees in line, and then just gently take that knee backwards. And then bring that leg back down. Going to move on to our roll down. So we're going to do 3 roll downs with press ups today. And then just stay at the floor. So you'll bring your feet back underneath you. Core switched on. We're taking an inhale at the top. Exhale. Tucking your chin, leading with the crown of your head. You're going to slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time. So going straight into our press up. So bending your knees, bringing your hands forward. Pelvis comes forward, shoulders remain back and down. Eye line to the floor, and then we're doing up to 6 press ups. So remember, your head goes forward, elbows go backwards. 3 to go here. And then feet to the floor. Walk your hands back in. Find your feet. Extend through those legs. Hold for an inhale. And then exhale. Tuck your pelvis back underneath you. Keep your ribs connected to your hips and restack back to standing. Final 2. Inhale. Exhale. Gently rolling down one vertebrae at a time, keeping it slow and controlled. When you get to the floor, try and keep those heels on the floor for as long as you can. Walk out into your high press up position. Then you can bring your knees to the floor if you want to. If not, stay in your high press up. Same thing, head forward, elbows backwards for up to 6. And final 1. And then gently bringing yourself back to your roll down. Hold for an inhale. Exhale. Tuck that pelvis underneath you. Keep your ribs connected to your hips. Restack back to standing. Final time. This time we stay at the mat. So really slow movement. Think about those vertebrae. They're moving individually towards the floor. So just gently rolling down. When you get to the bottom, trying to keep those heels on the floor for as long as you can. Walk your hands out, high press up or knees to the floor, and then up to 6. Keeping your body in a nice straight line. And then gently coming off those wrists, giving yourself a little wrist stretch, so just pushing those wrists out. And then from here we are going to go on to our first little core exercise. So we're going to do toe taps but from our elbow. So you're bringing yourself back down, so your elbow and shoulder in a line. Find your tailbone, make sure your tailbone stays on the floor, so don't roll your pelvis backwards. I want you to try and think about keeping your spine in neutral, core switched on, hands are pointing down towards your feet, and then from here you're going to bring both legs into tabletop. Now if this is too much, you can always bring one foot back to the floor. Then from here you're going to take one leg away, double tap the floor, bring it back up. Other leg, double tap the floor, bring it back up. Keep the movement coming from your hips. Keep thinking belly button to spine, rib to hip connection. Make sure you're breathing. Try not to lean back. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. Shins parallel with the ceiling. So you can do one leg at a time if you need to. So have one leg down, double tap, back up, and then change legs. If that's easier, you can go to that option. And we're going to do 4 more on each leg. Keep that core on. Keep your chin slightly tucked so you're not putting any added pressure on that neck. Final 2 on each side. Final 1. And then bring one leg down and 2 legs down. Stretch those legs out and give yourself a full body stretch. Then coming back up to sitting, and we're going to go onto 4-point kneeling, and we're going to do threading the needle. So this is a really nice exercise for your spine, really nice thoracic rotation. So we're coming into a box, making a nice box to start with. So your wrist is under your shoulder, knee is under your hip, tailbone pointing towards the back wall. Holding here for an inhale, then exhale. Take your right arm between the gap between your left arm and leg. Make sure you haven't taken your hips backwards, so keep your hips over your knees, holding for an inhale, and then exhale. Back to the center, hold in the center for an inhale, exhale. Other side, hold for an inhale, exhale. Gently back to the center, hold in the center for an inhale, and exhale. So really feel that rotation coming through your mid-spine. Really use the breathing to keep the movement nice and steady. We're going to do 1 more to each side like this, and then we're just going to develop it slightly. So inhaling in the middle, exhale. Through the gap, hold for an inhale, and then exhale. Back to the center, hold in the middle, okay. So we're going to develop this slightly now. So what you're going to do is you're going to move your right knee backwards, bring your feet together. Going to take your right arm through the gap, so we're still adding in that rotation, but this time when you come up, you're going to push into your left knee and bring your right arm and leg off the floor. Hold for an inhale, and then exhale. Arm comes back down, gently bring that knee back down, so try not to thud back to the floor. Going to the other side, so left knee moves back, and then taking your inhale, exhale, rotating through the gap, hold, and then exhale. Putting all of the weight into the right hand side of your body. You can look to your fingers, and then exhale. Gently bringing yourself back down to the mat. Now if this is too much for you today, just go back to our normal threading the needle. So right knee moves back. The trick to this is moving your knee to the right place. Exhale through the gap, hold, and then exhale. stretching up to the sky. Hold for an inhale. And then exhale. Gently back to the floor. Move that left knee back. Hold for your inhale. Exhale, stretching through. So keep thinking belly button to spine. Keep that core switched on. Really reaching those fingers and your knee to the sky. Okay, going to do one more to each side. Hopefully you've all got the hang of it. I think this is one of those moves where the more you do it, the more you kind of feel, ah yeah, I really got into the flow of this. But it is all about getting that knee position right. I'm also definitely travelling backwards on my mat right now. Hold for your final inhale here. And exhale. Gently bringing yourself back down to the mat. From here, you're going to walk your hands round one pace to the right, and then if you want to, you can walk them around another pace, but one pace will do if that feels kind of like enough. Then from here, we're just going to do a little child's pose. So we're going to stretch back into child's pose, and then we're going to come back up. Stretch back into child's pose, and back up. Think about your shoulders. Make sure they're staying away from your ears. Just a gentle lift and lower, working into those hips and knees. I'm going to do two more here, and then we're going to hold it in our child's pose. So final time, and this time holding child's pose. You can walk your hands around a bit further if you want to, and we're going to take that stretch to the left hand side of your back, holding it there. Then coming back up, walking your hands round to the left hand side. Again, you can bring it one pace round, or you can go to two if that feels okay, and then we're just gently sitting back and then bouncing back up. So just a gentle movement, almost feel like you're sitting back and then springing quickly back up. Imagine it's a really hot surface and you're like, oh, I don't want to sit down there. Really stretching out through that side. Check in with your shoulders, make sure they're not up near your ears. Final three. And two. And final one. So this time holding it down there. If you want to, you can take your hands around a bit further and then stretch out through that right hand side of your back, holding it there. And then walking your hands back to the middle, and from here we're going to come onto our backs. So we're coming down gently onto the mat, keeping your feet hip distance apart, knees in line with your hips and your toes, core switched on, rib to hip connection, little gap under that low back. From here, you're going to bring both arms up into the air. Check in with your shoulders. Make sure they haven't come up to your ears. And then your option 1, you're going to take an inhale, then exhale, slide your same arm and leg out, hold for an inhale, and then exhale. Gently slide them back to the middle. Option 2, hover that foot. Inhale, exhale, slide that same arm and leg away from the center. Hold for an inhale, and then exhale. Gently slide that arm and leg back to the middle. Hold in the middle for an inhale. So you can pick which one you want to do, and we're going to do 7 on each side. Here we go. Exhale, move away. Inhale, hold, and then exhale, back to the center. And as you go, I want you to focus on your hips and make sure you're not rocking your hips from side to side, so keeping that weight even between both sides of your pelvis. Make sure that you're not tilting your weight to probably the side that's moving away. Really use the breathing, so we're inhaling to hold, exhale, zip up that pelvic floor and move that arm and leg away, hold it there, exhale, back to the center. We've got 4 more to go on each side. As you take that arm and leg out, check on that rib to hip connection, make sure you're not arching your back or letting your belly dome. Final 3 to each side. Really stretch out through that arm and leg. Final 2. Final 1. To each side. Really stretch out through that arm and leg. Keep that core switched on. And then stretching your arms and legs out, giving yourself a full body stretch. Coming back so your feet are hip distance apart. And from here we're going to do our shoulder bridge. So core switched on, arms are just gently resting by your side. We're taking an inhale here, exhale, tilt your pelvis and slowly roll up into your bridge position. Remember, your weight is in your shoulders, not in your neck, and you're creating a ski slope like position. Hold for an inhale, and then exhale. Gently, with control, bringing each vertebrae back to the floor one time. Remember, your pelvis stays up for as long as possible, really stretching out through that back. And back to the mat. I'm going to do that one more time. So inhaling at the bottom, exhale. Gently rolling up into your bridge, holding at the top. Inhale, exhale. Slowly bring those vertebrae back to the floor one at a time. Imagine you're laying the links of a chain down, one link at a time. They're your vertebrae working as the links. Okay, going to add in taking our arms up and over our head once we're in bridge this time. any shoulder issues, take this one out. Just do it without the arms. So just do what we've just done. So holding at the bottom, inhale. Exhale. Gently rolling up into your bridge. Holding at the top. Inhale, bring your arms over your head, providing that's okay with your shoulders. Hold for an inhale. And then exhale. Gently, with control, coming down one vertebrae at a time. So nice, slow, controlled roll to the floor. Once you're into your neutral, inhale, bring those arms back over and then exhale, and we're going to go back up, and we're going to do that one more time. So coming into your bridge, inhale, arms over your head, check in with that rib to hip connection. Make sure you're not letting those ribs flare. Then exhale, gently lying those links back down. Keeping that pelvis lifted for as long as you can. And then rolling into your neutral. Inhale, bring those arms back down. Okay, going on to working into our legs and glutes a bit more now this time. So inhale. Exhale. Gently rolling up into your bridge. When you get to the top of your bridge, making a note of where your hips are, and then you're going to push higher for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it here, then you're going to take your knees out to the side for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So this is really good for your glutes. Hold for an inhale and then exhale. Gently rolling yourself back down one vertebrae at a time. So we're going to do that one another time. So rolling into your neutral, hold for an inhale and then exhale. Tilting that pelvis back up into your bridge. So it's really important you start the movement from your bridge and you're not lower and then coming into bridge. So you need to be in bridge, make sure your hips are lifted. Think about that spirit level bubble in the middle of those hips, and then we're lifting for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Knees out the side for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for an inhale and exhale. Gently, with control, rolling yourself back down to the mat. Rolling into your neutral. From here, you're going to slide your right leg out along the floor. Bring your left foot up so it's sitting on top of your right leg, and then guide your left knee over to the right hand side of your body, holding it there. And then bring that leg back to the middle. Slide your left leg out long. Bring your right leg up so it's sitting on top of your left leg, and then guide that right leg over to the left hand side of your body, holding it there. Make sure you're breathing into your stretches. And then bring that leg back up, finding your way back up to sitting, and we're going to do our pigeon stretch next. So for your pigeon stretch, you need a little bit of room behind you for your feet. You're coming into a box position. You're bringing your left knee forward behind your left hand, and then your left foot is coming behind your right hand, and then you're just going to gently navigate that right leg backwards. We're staying up here and then we're going to develop it slightly. So we're holding here, shoulders away from your ears, core stays switched on. Okay, so from here you can stay here or you can develop it. So you could come down to your elbows or you could bring your arms out a little bit further in front of you if you want to, holding it there, just developing that stretch a bit. Then coming back up, tucking your back toes, bring that knee off the floor, and then you can push yourself back into like a high press up. Bring your right knee forward behind your right hand, your right foot behind your left hand. There's always one leg that's more difficult than the other, isn't there? And then just holding at the top, shoulders away from your ears, breathing into your stretches. And again, if you want to, just developing it a little bit further. And then walking your hands back in, tucking your back toes, pushing yourself up and coming back to sitting. And then from here we're coming into sitting on our bums. Feet are coming out so they're flat on the floor in front of you. Knees, feet and hips are all in a line. Then you're going to bring your feet together and let your knees fall out to the side. So you're coming into a diamond shape. Make sure you're sitting up tall on those sit bones. Hands on the front of your shins. We're going to take an inhale here. Then you're going to exhale. Tuck your chin, tilt your pelvis and just roll yourself backwards. Take that stretch through your back. Hold for an inhale. And then you're going to exhale. Come back up to sitting tall. Take an inhale. And then exhale. You're going to imagine you're diving into a swimming pool and you're going to stretch your arms forward. Again, hold for an inhale. You might feel that stretch in your hamstrings. Exhale. Gently come back up to sitting. Going to do 4 more of those. So sitting tall, inhale. Exhale. We're going back first. So stretching out through that back, hold. Exhale. Back to sitting, inhale. Exhale, stretching forward, hold. And exhale. Back to sitting, hold for an inhale. Exhale. Tucking chin, rolling back, hold. So final 2 here. Really make sure you're sitting up tall in the middle. Really stretching forward, but make sure your shoulders stay away from your ears. Final time. Nearly went forward first then. Okay, coming back up to sitting. Either staying in diamond if that's comfy, or you can come to cross leg. Sitting up nice and tall, you're going to bring your arms so your elbow and shoulder are in a line. We're going to rotate through that mid-spine to one side, and then back to the center, and then rotate to the other side. Now, as you're rotating, I want you to imagine that there's something on top of your head, and the only way to keep it there is to keep pushing your head up into that object. So you're keeping your chin lifted, growing towards the ceiling as you rotate, keeping that rotation coming through your mid spine. We're going to do 2 more to each side. And final 1 to each side. Okay, then from here you're going to come into your box position, and we're going to do round the world. So we're going to try and get to our bum and then back to 4-point kneeling. That is the challenge of the day. So core switched on, taking an inhale in the middle. Exhale, you're going to take your left leg between your right arm and leg. Weight comes onto your hands, and then you can find your way to your bum. Going to move your hands together because then you'll know where you're moving them to. So hands come from the left hand side all the way around to the right hand side of your body. Going to bend your right leg, then you're pushing your weight onto your hands, and then you can flick yourself around so you're back onto your knees. Then we're going to go in the other direction. So core switched on, right leg between your left arm and leg. Weight onto your hands, find your way to your bum. From here, move your hands from the right round to the left. Bend that left leg, push into your hands, and then you can flip yourself round so you're back into your box position. Okay, going to go round 1 more time in each direction. So left leg through the gap between your right arm and leg. Weight on your hands, flip round to your bum. Move your hands round to the right. Bend your right leg, push on your hands, find your way back into your box position. Other direction. Right leg between your left arm and leg. Weight on your hands, round to your bum. Hands to the left, bend your left leg. Push on your hands, find your way back into your box. From here, you can then place a cushion under your left knee if you need it. Come up into your high knees, take a big step forward, and we're going to do our hip flexor stretch. So tilting that pelvis, tucking those sit bones under, pushing forward into that bent leg. Remember, keep your chest lifted. Knee tracks your toe but never goes over your toe, holding it there. Holding there a bit longer. And then coming back to both knees. Right knee stays down, so cushion under that knee. Left foot, oh dear. Left foot forward, tucking your pelvis under, pushing forward with your hips, keeping your knee and your toe in line, holding it there. Then coming back to both knees, tucking your toes under, bringing your weight onto the balls of your feet, trying not to use your hands but have them ready in case you need them. Push your heels into the floor and bring yourself back up to standing. Keeping your feet underneath you, core engaged. We're going to move the weight into your left leg, Going to bring your right leg out in front of you. Then we're going to bring it around to the side and then counterbalance back. So bring your chest forward, bring your arms out if you need to, holding it there. Then bring that leg back to the side and then back to the front. And then slide that foot back in, moving your weight to the right side, left leg comes out, core switched on, hold it. And then round to the side. And then round to the back, bring your arms forward if you need to, making yourself into a counterbalance, hold it there. Then back to the side, and then back to the front, and then slide that leg back in, give those ankles a little walk out. Then we're going to do 3 breaths to finish. So inhale, bring those arms up, and then exhale, bring those arms back down. 2 more, inhale up, and exhale down. And final time, inhale up. And exhale down. And then we're going to leave it there for today. Thank you for joining me for my mat work favourites class. I hope you enjoyed it. Drink plenty of water and I hope to see you again very soon. Bye for now.